Greetings, sports fans nationwide. You have entered the Sports Opinion Log. We're closing the books. Week 10 NFL, my and yours, Steel City. Hashtag here we go. Remain undefeated, 9-0 on the season. And the young man, top 1%er people sportscaster with the authentic, terrible towel, representing the Steel City from New York City. And of course, 9-0, let's invert the numbers. Yesterday, Monday Night Football, Vikings versus Bears. Kirk Cousins winless in Monday Night Football games, 0-9. Would he finally get his first victory? I'm going to talk about those two games, plus other games that piqued my interest. I heard that someone ran for 98 yards, and DeAndre Hopkins had the mother of all Hail Marys against the Buffalo Bills. So if you're down with all things NFL or are representing the Steel City, make sure you're subscribing to the channel and pressing the bell icon to stay notified for all upcoming future videos. Now, let me get going. 6-point shovel pass with this video. Steelers remain undefeated, 9-0 on the season. No practice, no problem. Big Ben, 333 yards, 4 touchdowns as the Steelers dominate, as usual, the Cincinnati Bengals. Final score on that, 36-10. But let's talk about how really damn good the Steelers are. First of all, our receiving core is out of this world. Deontay Johnson, 6 catches, 116 yards, 1 touchdown. Juju Smith-Schuster, 9 catches, 77 yards, and 1 touchdown. And of course, the gem, the diamond from Notre Dame, Chase Claypool, rookie sensation, 4 catches for 56 yards, but 2 bomb-ass motherfucking touchdown passes. With that victory, the Steelers are 226-0 with 1 tie when leading by 20 plus points all time, including playoffs. Big Ben gets win number 24 over the Bengals, the most he has over any franchise in the NFL. And how about the defense? The defense has recorded 1 plus sack in 66 consecutive games, which is actually the second longest streak since 1982 when sacks became an official stat. So the Steel City is holding it down. We are the prime time players. We are the gem of NFL Network, the nationwide sports leaders. They can't keep our names out of their yappity yappity fucking mouths, and that's what I'm talking about. And as a matter of fact, I had some hater at my job come up and tell me, so I guess you're really impressed with those Steelers. And I said, I'm not surprised. And he's like, not surprised? How could you not be surprised that they're still undefeated, that they're still perfect? And I explained to him, the foolish fan who has been brainwashed by the Foxies, that it's this. Big Ben was injured in what? Week 2? Week 3? Last season. He's fresh. He's re-energized. He's reinvigorated. And he is ready to attack. And Chase Claypool, they're number 1 and number 2. Now, I was going to give props to Russell Wilson and DK Metcalf, but we'll talk about that later. They suffered a bad loss, and right now it looks like Russell Wilson's MVP season is sinking faster than the Titanic. Well, it actually sunk kind of slow, but you get what I'm talking about. Now let's talk about this Monday Night Football game. Bears, Vikings, Kirk Cousins, who I love to bash. He's my personal whipping boy. 0-9 Monday Night Football. When the bright lights have been activated and the national stage is set, what will you be remembered for? Kirk Cousins. Well, it looks like Kirk Cousins will be remembered for notching his first Monday Night Football game, noted in the annals of sports history. November 16th, 2020, in a 19-13 victory over the Chicago Bears, Kirk Cousins got his first Monday Night Football win, 25 for 36, 292 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 INT, total team effort. Dalvin Cook, 30 carries for 96 hard-earned yards. Adam Thielen, 2 touchdowns. And of course, icing on the cake, depending on your take as a fan, Nick Foles gets knocked down late in the fourth quarter, did not get back up, was taken off on the cart, back to the locker room. They're saying leg, hip injury. Nick Foles, at least he'll always be remembered for being the backup that won the Eagles a Super Bowl championship over the hated New England Patriots. Because unfortunately, outside of that, his career has been lackluster, subpar, injury prone, injury riddled. He's definitely not paying dividends for the check that his ass is cashing. And how about the game that had all of social media talking? Bills, Cardinals in Arizona. 2 seconds left on the clock. Kyler Murray throws the mother of all Hail Marys that is caught by DeAndre Hopkins over not one, not two, but three Bills defenders. I know hashtag Bills Mafia has to be sick. Take a look at this picture. And with that 32-30 victory, Kyler Murray has 1+ passing touchdown and 1+ rushing touchdown in 5 consecutive games. The only QB to have accomplished this feat in NFL history and sports fans nationwide. When I say NFL history, we're talking about McNabb. We're talking about Michael Vick. We're talking about Cam Newton. But here we have young, short, undersized Kyler Murray working his magic, and he has made me a believer. And yes, I did say early on that the Cardinals were going to fail, weren't going to be nothing. But clearly the general manager knows what he's doing when he opened up the bank to DeAndre Hopkins, who has paid immediate dividends, while the Houston Texans, we'll talk about that shortly. But their season is clearly over. And the key reason is, one, the Texans' defense is trash. And two, their GM let DeAndre Hopkins, one of the greatest wide receivers in the NFL, go. And sports fans nationwide, DeAndre Hopkins is the epitome of what a prime-time, real-time wide receiver performs. While everybody is caught up in the glitz and the glamour, the sizzle but no steak of the player Odell Beckham Jr., who is no longer with us this season because he tore his knee jumping on the back of a defender who intercepted a football. You got to stop looking at the glamour. You got to stop looking at the highlighted hair. You got to look at the character of the human being who is taking foot on the field and the work that he puts in. And DeAndre Hopkins, he puts in that work. And of course, the Buccaneers over the Panthers 46-23. And again, a play that had social media, that had the NFL rumbling, jaw open, like, I can't believe this. Is this really happening? And again, here in the Sports Opinion Log, I watch NFL Red Zone. I get all the scoring plays. And when I saw Ronald Jones run for that 98-yard touchdown run, I was like, woo! But he came from USC. I'm not surprised, but just look at the picture of the grace and balance. So that was pretty exciting. And of course, we also had the Lions beating the Washington football team 30-27 final score as their kicker, Prater, 59-yard field goal as time expired. That's as big time as it gets. So this Week 10 NFL was purely highlight driven, and in some cases a low light if you're a Eagles fan, but we'll talk about that in just a minute. Quick recap: Colts over the Tennessee Titans 34-17, as Indianapolis is 28-9 versus Tennessee in regular season games since 1998. Browns over the Texans, final score 10-7. Texans, I already talked about it. Defense, offense, it's just all bad for them. They're 2-7. I'm sure they're ready to pack their bags on the season. They fought hard, but they wound up losing. Jacksonville Jaguars, Packers take the victory, 24-20 final score, as Green Bay is 7-2 for the second time, or for the second straight season. Discount, double check Aaron Rodgers is getting it done. And again, Eagles fans, the Giants get the win, 27-17 final score. But despite being 3-5-1, the Eagles are still in first place in the NFC East, which is also known as the NFC least around the greater part of the world. And of course, Raiders over the Broncos, 37-12, as Vegas has won 5 straight home games over the Denver Broncos. And in a shocker, or maybe not a shocker, depending on your perspective, the Rams over the Seahawks 23-16. The Rams have now won. The Rams have now won 5 of 6 games versus Seattle, and Russell Wilson 3 turnovers again. First time in his career he's had back-to-back games with 3+ turnovers, and that is no good. They are now 6-3. Does he deserve to be MVP? I'm not going to say I'm on the fence because you're bound to have ups and downs, but again, they're losing winnable games, and clearly they were exposed in that loss to the Arizona Cardinals, which had broke their winning streak. And again, this Thursday in the Battle of the Birds, Thursday night game, Arizona Cardinals taking on the Seattle Seahawks. Please keep in mind that the winner is usually the one with home field advantage in this game. Saints over the 49ers 27-13. Unfortunately, Drew Brees was taken down on a sack. Multiple fractures in his rib cage, both sides, suffered a punctured lung, but of course the medical report is like, oh, he should be back on the field in a couple of weeks. Really? Okay. Drew Brees is a small, little guy. He is old. He is 40+ years old. It is time to look to the future and not put him back there on the field where there could be some irreparable damage done to him. And hey, that's what you guys signed Jameis Winston for, right? So, but hey, let's face it, you still have Alvin Kamara, who had 3 touchdowns on the day. So there are still plenty of weapons on offense to hold down the Saints. Patriots over the Ravens, 23-17 final score. Baltimore held to fewer than 20 points for the first time in their last 32 games. However, we will credit the inclement rainy weather in New England that helped Cam Newton put a W under the Patriots' name. Dolphins over the Chargers, rookie quarterback sensations. However, it is the Dolphins who get the victory. Final score 29-21. Miami is 6-3 for the first time since 2001. Tua is perfect on the season, 3-0. Justin Herbert becomes the first NFL rookie to throw for 2+ touchdowns in 6 consecutive games. But what else is new? It ends in another motherfucking Chargers close game, less than 10 points lost. Like, it is so disheartening. What a waste on the season. It's really tough to take. And of course, the recap, Monday Night Football, Kirk Cousins earns his first ever Monday Night Football victory, 19-13 final score. So I just want to add real quick, which I made mention but didn't complete. It will be this Thursday Night Football. It will be the Arizona Cardinals taking on the Seattle Seahawks in Seattle. And again, the home team is the one that walks away with the victory. So even though there's no 12th man, there's no fans in the stands, I'm sure people will be celebrating virtually or from the comfort of their own home or bar, depending on what the rules and regulations are around where you reside. But here where I reside in NYC, there is still some indoor dining to an extent, depends on the places. Everybody's spaced out. I'll be watching here from the crib. I'll be tweeting about it. Make sure you follow me on Twitter. Name is right there below. Check it out at Lex Anderson _WS. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you've come this far into the video, do the right thing, make the commitment, subscribe to the channel, press that button, and of course the bell icon. We all need that bell so you can be notified when the next video drops. Until next time, sports fans nationwide, representing, once again, the Steel City from New York City, Lex Anderson signing out.